Hi there, and welcome to Fortune Weavers Academy. So, we're excited to get you started on your journey of real estate investing. So, some ground rules attendance is very important, and we'd like you to be on time to the classes and events. Just for respect and for our speakers, sometimes we have guest speakers. It is for adult only, so if you have young kids, we'd like you to keep them at home and no interruptions or sidebars, for respect for our speakers and for other students who are trying to get the best out of the class. Stay positive. This can be a really tough journey, and we're here as a team to work through it. And be respectful of the Fortune Weaver Academy team's time. We're all pretty much overextended, and we're doing our best to give you the best experience and to support you as possible. But we also do have a life outside of the academy, and so we just ask that you respect that. So, circumvention is a huge thing for us, and part of the agreement that you've signed was the non-circumvention disclosure. And so, some examples of what circumvention looks like is using Fortune Weaver Academy strategies and taking a deal outside of the company when technically we should be partnering on the deals that you bring in or deals that we're supposed to work together with. So what we don't want is for a deal to come up and now it's being taken outside of the academy. Sharing Fortune Weavers material content with outside parties. All of the material that we've come up with is our own, from our own experience, and we don't want that to be mass sent out to others who aren't in the academy. Working privately with other students in the academy. So we have this team and this academy so that you can network and work with others, but we don't want individual agreements between students, whether it be on deals or funding deals or anything of that sort, without notifying the Fortune Weavers team. And another one is going directly to Fortune Weavers Academy vendors to use their services directly without notifying the Fortune Weavers team. Not only does it look bad to us and our relationships with these vendors, but it is also a means of circumvention and going around us when we have built these relationships and had we get special pricing or whatever it is for that matter. All right, so starting in this business, we want to create a plan, and it's important to set goals so that you know the pathway of where you're going without having it written down or having clear-cut goals. There's just no direction to follow. Time management is so important because, it's going to take a lot of time to prospect. It really, it's going to take time to get successful in this business. Staying focused, and that's part of creating the goals and the roadmap for the goals so that you can follow those steps exactly instead of not knowing where to go about or where to go next or what to do. So this business takes a lot of sacrifice. Sometimes as you're trying to get successful and being your own business owner or working and being an entrepreneur, it takes a lot of your time and you got to sacrifice some things, whether it be hanging out with your friends or going to that event. Sometimes it's family time, but it's important to find that balance. But at the same time, know that you're going to need to make sacrifices to be successful in this business. Take action. Just go do it. Just to, go and do what you need to do to be successful. Go out there and learn and just put yourself out there. Be coachable. It's hard for us to help you if you're not willing to take the feedback, the advice, whatever recommendations we give. So, it's important to be open-minded and hear our suggestions, and we'll listen to what what ideas you have as well. And, we're here to guide. And accountability. It's easy to get, comfortable and not follow the steps towards your goals. What's great about the academy is that there are other members that you can, partner or not partner with, like on deals, but just work with some other students to hold each other accountable. And that also makes it a lot more fun to go through this and know that, they're also reaching for the same goals. So you do have that community to be able to just kind of have a person to door knock with or to hold you accountable. So some challenges that you might face. So fear. The biggest thing is fear of rejection. We go through these classes of door knocking and cold calling blitz, and it's hard to hear someone say no to you, or and feel that rejection. But you just got to move on and not take it personal and continue to hit your numbers so that you can meet your goals. Doubt, your own self-doubt of whether you can do this. It is tough, but that's, again, you have us for support, and you have a community of other students who are trying to reach the same goals. Analysis paralysis. So a lot of times students will come in and try to wait till they learn everything before they start taking action. And really, there's so much to learn, more than, what we can teach you. There's just so many new things that come up. You're always going to be learning. But the best thing that you can do is take our first initial steps and just get going. The best learning is implementation and going through that deal, and everything just kind of falls into place. Friends and families can be naysayers. They might put you down. They might not see the vision that you see, and they're not in this business, so they don't understand. So sometimes, it might be better to maybe not say anything until you've progressed a little further along. It's already hard in this business than to have more people weighing you down from getting towards your goals. Shiny objects. In this business, you're going to meet so many other people from different businesses or other relationships where they might have other opportunities that sound really good. That's called a shiny object, and it can steer you away from your clear goal with real estate investing. And so just be wary of that, and we don't want that to suck you in a different direction when your time should be spent towards your goals, towards getting your first flip and getting these deals. And then the path of least resistance. So when it gets hard, it's easy to get complacent and comfortable and just, kind of do what's easy. But in order to grow, we got to get out of our comfort zone. So you just got to keep working and continue to push and learn new things. And you might get thrown down, and you just get back up and you continue to go at it. Calendar. So we have our live classes, webinar classes, and periodically we'll send out video classes. We have 2 times a month exclusive platinum student call, in which you can, save your questions that you might have if there's a specific topic that you need more clarification on. That's an intimate time that we'll have with you to be able to answer your questions. And then we also have a specific call for students who currently have deals, and we can, answer any questions on that call, and students can share their experience with their own projects and any tips they might give. We have Saturday morning conference calls every Saturday. The last Saturday of every month, we're usually having that overview. The meetup and live class. So this is our meetup events. Usually we're doing house tours or a rehab walkthrough of one of our projects. So either it's done and it's ready to be put on the market, then it'll be a house tour. And then if it's within the construction phase, then it's a rehab walkthrough. And then we'll have our cold calling blitz and or door knocking blitz. So some tools for success. So, starting out in this business, if you don't want to use your own phone number, you can get a Google Voice, which is free, and it's linked to your Gmail account. So if you have a Gmail account, then it's free to set up a phone number with Google Voice, which is great. It's a great source for something that's free. So what that looks like is, so you can have the Google Voice app on your phone, and you can access it online. So let me see what's going on here. So yeah, you'll be able to access all of your text conversations through here. You have your own separate number. You can also call through here, but then it will link to your phone and then you talk to them that way. So it's a great resource. Another one is called Call Rail. It is a paid service, but it's great because you can do call recording, and there's some other features that are pretty cool with this, but again, it does cost money. But that is also another source that we use, CallRail. A CRM. So we use LionDesk, and it is a paid one, but we're able to have all our contacts and set up templated emails, and so that's what we've been using now. To start out, Insightly would be great. And, there are some limited features, but for the most part, you'll be able to have your emails. You can put in some of your projects and track the statuses that way. So that's a great first place to start if you don't want to pay. When you're looking for property information, HomeSnap is free. If you're an agent, you get the HomeSnap Pro, but you'll be able to, download the app on your phone as well. And when you're door knocking, you'll be able to get the property information. Ramin is a great resource for realtors, and it's free for realtors. So when you log on to your CRMLS, you have the HomeSnap Pro, you have LionDesk, you have Ramin, which helps you with property information. Property Radar is one that we use and we pay for. So, you'll be able to put in property information, click on it, and you get a lot of details, what the property equity they have. And more property information. All right, so we last left off on tools for obtaining property information. And Property Radar is a tool that we use a lot as a team, and it is one that we pay for, but it gives you a lot of property information, which we like. So property details, what we like is that it gives us a loan balance on how much the owner currently owes on their property, comparables, property taxes, sales history, foreclosures, and if it's listed. And so that's a great tool that you can also download that app on your phone. Another tool that we have available is from our title company, Title Tools. So they give us, they'll set us up an account with their title online portal, and we're able to access a lot of information of the property, also comparables that might go on title that we might not see on the MLS. And then we can also download certain documents. So this grant deed is the transfer of the last sale, and we can download those documents, or this document is the lender's document, so their deed of trust and promissory note. So those type of things and information you can get from the title tools. So finding homeowner contact information. So Property Radar actually gives you phone numbers if you have the highest account on Property Radar. So we can go to contacts, and usually it'll have some phone numbers, but this particular one they don't. And then you can also access emails for a fee. Some free sources are truepeoplesearch.com, familytreenow.com, and that'sthem.com, which are some free online resources that you can search information of the homeowner. So you can put in their name and address if you know that. If you know their phone number, then you can reverse search that way. On True People Search on familytreenow.com, you put in their first name, last name, and the city and state of where they live. And then that's them.com, you put in their name and address. and you should be able to get their information. So True People Search is actually one of the best ones. That we've found phone numbers that are the same phone numbers we've seen on Property Radar, which we pay for Property Radar. And then there are other websites out there where you can do some skip tracing, so you can pay for those leads or that information at a cost. So some other tools that we provide, we give you the analyzer where you can put in the information to evaluate a property and see what your return on investment is and if it's going to be a deal or not. We have the price lift calculator where we'll work with homeowners to flip their own home, and a lot of times they're walking away with more money than if they take our all cash offer. So you have that calculator on the portal, as well as the rehab estimator calculator where you can put in some numbers and depending on what's needed on the rehab, and kind of get an estimation of what the rehab cost is going to be. So the next steps, so really to get started, we don't have to wait till we learn every video that's on the student portal. Really, the goal is to find your first deal and get into that first flip. So, we can go ahead and start with that while you're supplementing your education with the videos. And so the best way to learn is really to be in this project, and you'll really learn what it takes to find a deal, get through that process, and go through the project management phase and relisting the property. So the best way to learn is just be in it, right? Get thrown into it. So the first step we're going to want to do is raise the money. Unless you have your own funds, one, to purchase the property outright, unless you have $500,000 to just purchase the property all cash, and that doesn't even include, the rehab costs and the closing costs if the purchase price is $500,000. Most of the time we'll use a hard money loan, and then if you have your own money, to come up with a gap money, or else we need to raise money for that gap money as well. So step 2 is to find that deal and then evaluate the deal to see if it's actually one that fits in our model and our formula. And if it does, then we get the property under contract. So in order to do that, we need to submit the offer, if we need to do any negotiations to get the offer accepted, and then we open escrow once it is. And then once we open escrow, we go through the steps we need to, and we'll close escrow, and then we move forward with our flip. So the first step is to raise the money. So again, unless you have the money to purchase the property outright, we're going to generally use a hard money loan most of the time, and they will usually fund up to 80 to 85% of the loan to cost, which includes the purchase price and the rehab. And in order to use them to fund our purchases, they do charge some fees, so generally about 2 to 4 points. They may have a lender or broker processing fee, maybe some other fees, and then the appraisal that we have to pay for. And their rate is generally 9 to 12% annualized, depending on your experience level. So if you're a newer flipper, they're going to charge you more. And if you have a lot of experience, then they'll give you the better rate. So that will fund the bulk of the purchase price. But what about the other 15 to 20% that we have to bring in? Well, we're going to need to raise that money in gap funds, which is the rest of the funds to close this deal. So generally, the gap funds will pay for the down payment, the closing costs, which are the escrow and title fees, maybe any other fees, the monthly holding costs, the mortgage interest that we're paying on this loan per month, the utilities, property insurance, and maybe a portion of the renovation costs if we need to upfront any money. But usually our hard money lenders are giving us some of the upfront money for the rehab, which is great. So generally, for gap money, we'll need about $150,000 to $250,000 to close on the deal. So either we're going to raise that money from investors, or we can use our own money from our savings or retirement funds. So that will save us from paying interest on this money to what we pay our investors that generally invest in our projects. Or you can get a line of credit. So one company that we've used in the past is called Seed Capital, where they charge you a fee to get you a bunch of credit cards, and they'll be able to get you, a good amount of funds. Generally, we've seen most often if you have good credit, they give you about $100,000. Or you can reach out to other companies like SoFi, where they give you a personal loan. And, the rates can be anywhere, maybe from 6% to 12%. And so if you can get that 6% rate, that might be better than paying what we normally give our investors that invest in our project. Or if you have any friends or family to loan you some money, maybe you give them a smaller return on investment, and maybe there's other potential investors that you can find at networking events or new relationships that you've made. So the next step is to find the deal, and some marketing strategies, ways to find deals: door knock, drive for dollars, cold calling, direct mail, bandit signs, MLS, realtors, bird dogs, or wholesalers, which we call our finders. Some specific types of deals that you might want to target: so those that are absentee owners, so landlords that live out of state, or they don't live near where they currently own their property, and maybe tenants are wrecking their home and they just want to get rid of it. Homes that are vacant, those in pre-foreclosure, bankruptcy, short sales, where owners owe more than what their property is worth, probate, for sale by owners, expireds, divorce, quitclaim deeds, evictions. So any of those specific areas, we can target those leads. So some exit strategies. Of course, we're looking for our first flip, right? But, sometimes it doesn't work out that way, whether it doesn't fit in our model, or maybe the homeowner doesn't want the quick cash and they would rather make the most money possible. Then we can offer them our Fortune Price Lift program, where we can come in and we can partner with them and flip their own home and sell for highest value that we can get for their home. Maybe it doesn't fit in our criteria in terms of our return on investment that we're looking for, but there are other investors out there who are maybe using their own money and or willing to take more risk, then we can wholesale the property to them. Or we might get into a property where the purchase price is super low and then you can possibly get high rents for it. So we might consider a buy and hold or short-term rental, or maybe Airbnb. And maybe we come across somebody who's looking to purchase and they don't want to compete on the open market. So we can help them with a renovation purchase, where we'll come in and help them get the deal as cash buyers with our hard money loan, and then we can help them get a renovation budget in their loan and help them purchase a home that way. So those are some exit strategies that we can offer our clients, or we do ourselves. So some lead sources where we can obtain leads: again, the title tools from our title rep. With the online account that they set up for us, we're able to get pre-foreclosure leads, tax default, absentee owners. If you're a realtor, you have the MLS and you can access expireds for free. On Zillow, you can access for sale by owners. It's free and it has their phone number. So you go on Zillow, you click on the buy tab, and there's a tab where you can say look for sale by owner, and then specify the area you're looking for. So I clicked on this one, and what pops up is you click on more info and you get the property owner's phone number. So this is a free lead source, and you can go on there and maybe start targeting those owners. Maybe, those are probably good for price lifts. Property Radar, you can access pre-foreclosures, vacant leads, absentee owners, quitclaim deeds. Another resource is RedX, where you can get for sale by owner leads, for rent by owner leads, expireds. Another resource we've used in the past is Rebo Gateway, where you can get divorce, tax liens, bankruptcy, pre-foreclosure, evictions, probate, much more. There's a lot on Rebo Gateway, but a new resource we've used recently is called PropStream, or RESS, the Real Estate Success Software, which we can get these as well. All right, step 3. So when you get the deal, a potential deal, the address of the potential deal, we want to calculate the ARV, which is the after repair value, by comping properties, similar comparable properties in the area. So you can do that by using the MLS, Property Radar, Zillow, Redfin, Title. And then we want to calculate our renovation cost based on the square footage of the home. So in our analyzer, it's for general, we're using $65 a square foot for, a general home, maybe like in Long Beach or Lakewood, that just doesn't need additional items such as roof or driveway or things like that, then we can use $65 a square foot. If it's very cosmetic and maybe you're in an area like Compton or Pomona, we can probably get away with $40 to $45 a square foot. And then when we get to higher end, such as Highland Park or those properties that have an ARV over $1 million, we're going to need to use a higher cost per square footage because of the high end finishes that we're going to use. And then if you're building additions or any new builds, we're using $150 a square foot to calculate the rehab. So you can put this into your calculator, and based on that, we're going to calculate what our maximum allowable offer is based on what we see on the return on investment on the calculator. So very, very minimum is that we're looking for a 10% return on investment, and that's if the ARVs maybe in the 750 ranges. We're willing to go a minimum of 10%, but if the ARV is more than that, then that means it's going to be higher risk, and we want to create more cushion in the deal for any unexpected situations that can come up. So we're looking more for a 12% ROI. So there are other training videos on the portal that will help break down these steps on how to use the analyzer and how to determine these numbers when you're evaluating the deal. So once you've evaluated the deal and you put it in your analyzer, when you can go ahead and email deals@fortuneweavers.com. Send in your analyzers with the number you came up with and at least 3 comparable properties, 3 addresses of comparable properties that you use to determine your ARV. And, in the email, the more information you can provide, the more helpful, such as the property description, what the address is, obviously bed and bath count, square footage, lot size, garage. If you know any details regarding liens on the property, if you know what the loan amount owed is, if there's a second mortgage on the property or other liens such as tax liens, IRS liens, medical bills, anything like that that would affect that sale. Details of the sale, is it in pre-foreclosure or probate sale, any information of that sort, and any details of the rehab that you saw from watching videos of it or pictures or walk the property that can help determine if we need to add more on top of the rehab because now we need to replace a driveway or we need to put in an HVAC system. So give us about 2 to 3 days for a team member to respond when you submit a deal. We work to get you a response sooner than that, but it just kind of depends on how many are being submitted and what we're working on at the time. So we try our best to get it to you as soon as possible. And after you've submitted a good amount of deals to compare with the numbers that you came up with and the numbers that we came up with, just go ahead and start making the offers. I mean, unless you're $100,000 off from where we are, if you get to where we're like maybe, not too far off, then just go ahead and start making the offer so that we have something concrete to work with. So the next step is to get that property under contract. So submitting that offer. So you're going to want to put it on a purchase contract. If you're not a realtor, you'll want to put it on a 1-page purchase contract, and if you're a realtor, then you can use the residential purchase agreement form. So if you're working direct to the homeowner and you're not a realtor, so then yes, we'll use the 1-page purchase contract. If the property's on the MLS and there's a listing agent, then you might want to have them write up the purchase contract for you on this RPA form, because if you're not licensed, you're technically not allowed to use this legal form, and you can get a fine for it. So we don't want to increase your risk for that. So better to put it on a separate contract if that's the case. Some other required documents that either agents might require or when you're in escrow is that they want a proof of funds letter. So we can create or we can give you a proof of funds letter stating that you have a line of credit to purchase property. So feel free to email support@fortuneweavers.com and we can provide that letter for you. Sometimes they will require you to submit bank statements as well. I mean, we try to explain to them that our proof of funds letter is our funds to purchase. Sometimes they're just very adamant about sending it, or the realtors especially are adamant about submitting in the bank statement. And then another form you might want in there and signed is the assignment form if we're going to wholesale it. So if you're not a realtor, you're going to want to create an assignment clause in that one-page purchase contract, or just create a separate addendum that says that you have the right to assign this contract. And then if you're a realtor, then you can use this form, which is the assignment of agreement addendum, and have the owner sign that. And so on the purchase contract, the buyer is going to be your name or your entity. All right, so say you submit your offer and now it's accepted, and we open escrow. Within 3 days of opening escrow, you're going to need to submit your earnest money deposit. So on your offer, based on generally what the purchase price is, if you have a lower purchase price, such as $400,000, we would try to get away with an earnest money deposit of $5,000. Once we get up to, $750,000, we're going to try to make it look more competitive by putting in an earnest money deposit of $10,000 to $15,000. So that's the amount that we would generally use for an earnest money deposit. Then you want to work with a Fortune Weavers team member to notify the hard money lender of our new purchase so that we can get the hard money loan. So we're going to submit the hard money loan application. If you're purchasing in your own name, disregard this, but if it's going to be an LLC or a corporation or an entity, the hard money lender is going to want that information, as well as escrow will want those documents as well. They'll need your driver's license, a credit authorization. Despite if you're using an entity, the hard money lenders are looking at your credit history now and making sure that you have good credit for them to lend to you. And then they'll also want an experience history. So if you flipped properties, they'll want the address and what you had bought it for, what you sold it for. And if you don't have an experience history, then you just let them know that this is going to be your first deal. We'll have the lender order the appraisal. So in order for us to order the appraisal, the lender wants us to submit a line item rehab budget. So a team member will help you with that and how to submit that in order to get the appraisal ordered. During escrow, we'll also want to order property insurance. And so the vendor that we normally use is on the student portal in our vendors list. And then we'll also want to inform escrow to order a title binder for us, so that we can save some money on the title cost when we resell the property. So during that escrow period, we usually have our contingency period for the home, for our home inspection period. So we can schedule our home inspection maybe simultaneous with walking with a contractor. And we'll want to do that during our due diligence period, just to verify that the rehab is where it's going to be, where we had estimated, and make sure that there's no other surprises that might make the rehab cost go up. And then now maybe it's not a deal, or now we need to negotiate the purchase price down, or else we don't move forward with the deal. And then if we already know like we're going to move forward with the deal, it might be beneficial to have the architect come to that meeting as well, just so we can get them started right away, because that process can take a while with getting the plans drawn and getting that submitted to the city. So once all that's done and escrow closes and now it's our deal, if we haven't already walked the property with an architect, sometimes it's hard to get access for walking the property again after our home inspection during escrow, especially if the sellers live there or if they had tenants. Then we'll want to walk the property right away with an architect if we need an architect, if we're changing floor plans and that such. And then if we need the contractor to walk it again or whatnot. But other than that, we'll have the scope of work drafted with the contractor and the agreement signed and have the construction start. And then we'll go through the project management phase to, get through the rehab and check off all of the work that was supposed to be done per the timeline and the scope of work. And then once all that's done, then we're going to list the property for sale. So basically, the process from A to Z are these steps. And, we want to raise the money, find the deal, evaluate it, get it under contract, we close the deal, we go through our project management, and then we resell. So that's where we want to jumpstart and not wait till we've watched all the videos in order to get started. So really start on on these steps and start prospecting, and everything will just kind of fall into place and you'll learn on the job pretty much. So there you have it. If there's any other questions in regards to this orientation or any other questions that you come up with, feel free to email support@fortuneweavers.com. But other than that, we're ready to get you started and start prospecting. So let's get on it, and we will be there to help support you along the way. All right. Thank you, and we'll see you at the next live class.